Alright guys, welcome. Today I'm going to be messing around a little bit for you guys. We've had a lot of questions as to what this canvas can do, how we can work with it, what we can work with on it, what kind of stresses it will take. I've heard stories that you can paint watercolors on it, so it must be able to hold a lot of watercolors, charcoal sketches on it. I've seen those. I've actually played around with a few ideas myself. It's actually looking quite good. Oils. So what I'm going to do today is, because I'm primarily working in acrylics at the moment, I'm going to put these two canvases that Graham has given to me. I'm going to do a couple of very quick little paintings on them. It shouldn't take too long. The first canvas is the first option he offers us, with a hard back. And the reason I like the hard back clearly is all of a sudden I'm painting on a wall, and quite literally walls are the best things to paint on. But because it's got that hard back, there's a lot I can do with it. Without the back, the canvas is quite flexible. Not these ones, but generally generally speaking, these canvases, the canvases without the backing, they do sag. So things like gouging, things like working deep with a pencil or a charcoal are very, very difficult. So what I'm going to do is, I've never done this. I'm all on my own in my studio today, so I might get sidetracked, which is fine. I like getting sidetracked. The second canvas is the one obviously without the backing. So I'm going to do a series of little things. I'm going to start off with the acrylics being as close to watercolor as I can get them. How I'm going to wet these canvases up. Well, I'll start the first painting. I will start on the unbacked canvas, and I'm going to soak it down, get it going, and then while I'm waiting for the medium to dry or the paint to dry to move on to the next step, then I'll start in on the hardback one, working a little bit of a different style. Watercolor, hardback, watercolor, not hardback. I prefer not to do watercolors on a hardback because I like to gouge and do my thing, and I like thick and things. So we'll do the watercolor on the non-backed one, or as thin as the watercolor we can get. I think actually maybe next week what I'll do is I'll bring out a whole bunch of watercolors and do a couple more. After all, canvas is canvas. Alright, so here we start. Alright, so we'll get some water. I'm going to work in a couple of mediums now. Generally, I work in two states with regards to acrylics. I work with the raw acrylic in different thicknesses and the whole bang shit. And then I have a nice little product. Actually, quite frankly, it has become quite the medium of experimentation. But it's called acrylic flow. It's very similar to a glaze. But what it does, it makes your paint translucent, which means that if you're ballsy enough and you want to give it a try, you can actually paint dark over light. It actually brings out an awesome effect. I think I might have one here that shows just that, but I'll show it to you later. Alright guys, enjoy. So let's get this thing wetted up. Move that one, I don't want to get it splattered. Alright, I'm going to pick out my colors. Now I'm going to stick with the raw. I'm going to stick with the watered down. I'm going to stay off of the medium for now, the acrylic flow. I'll use the acrylic flow on the other canvas. So yeah, I'm going to take a nice big brush. Which was halfway clean at least. And I'm going to wet the canvas with a nice soak. So this is really starting to soak through now. I don't know if you can see how the water's just dripping off the bottom. It's maintaining its tension. And let's have a look and feel. It's bone dry. Bone dry on the back. Nothing. Dry. I'll throw some more water on it, just so we can make doubly sure. What we're looking for here is how it smears and carries on. And all this water is just dripping. So I'm going to go very light. I'm going to dip it in lots of water. Remember, I'm focusing on the water now. And Let's see how it bleeds. Oh, it bleeds quite nicely, huh? Look at that. However you want to run your brush strokes is clearly up to you. Like I said, I'm not going to use any of that flow medium today, so this is pretty much going to be very, 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 very base watercolors. Now we're going to put in some nice thick yellow. The water's still flowing off and still bone dry on the back. Absolutely no moisture here on the back whatsoever. Is a little chilly, but not wet at all. Alright, this is actually a synthetic canvas, so it's not like Hessian or cotton that will absorb water. This one doesn't, so it speeds up your whole process. What I do like about it, I just climbed onto this canvas untreated, no gesso. This is how it comes standard. If you want to rough it, the first time ever, normally you use gesso to smooth the canvas out. For the first time ever, you got to use gesso to rough it up. Alright, well, fantastic. Well, there you go. So we've established that the water is not a problem. Let's try a little bit of a background. And let's see where we go. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to paint. It's become one of my tricks. I kind of just step up to the plate and swing. If I find I give it too much thought, I start to chicken out a little bit, but here goes, here comes the first mistake. Now we're going to bring a little bit of mud and a bit of myself to this whole equation. And I'm looking for a very particular color. No, that's not it. That's not it. Here we go. Let's see how far we get with this. Now, this is a mixture of reds, yellows, and a good, healthy dollop of burnt sienna. Okay, still lots and lots of water. By the looks of things, it's looking quite decent with regards to the flow of the paint on the canvas. I'm liking it. It's not absorbing too much at all with regards to the water. But you see how nicely you can get a smooth blend or a rough blend. I'm particularly fond of the rough blend. I don't like, man, it's got this, I don't know what to call it, this need to make neatness out of nature and straighten lines and make gardens and that, and it's all very therapeutic and truly is an art form. However, if you want to understand your subject, you've got to understand that there are no straight lines in art, in anything really, in nature. You know, there are lots and lots of lines, but nothing that's straight like what we would expect or want when we go to do architecture or anything like that. All right. Starting to feel like I might try and rip off a little bit of Bob Ross. That would be hysterical. Yeah. As you can see, I'm also a bit of an expressionist, so I like my colors. I get to choose those when I'm painting. Yeah. Okay. And this is how you'll see when I do the other one, where I'm not using any water. just the more room I have to play with that backing on the canvas. Because now I've got this canvas now, and let's say for example I want to just make an eddy or a spot where I think I might be running a river or a dam. When I got one of these offcuts from the framing guys at work today, and I said, well, let me try it out on the canvas. So remember, we've got no backing on this one, huh? Let's see what happens. Alright, well, it's not tearing. That's a plus. Not tearing at all. That's always good. Now I'm obviously not, this is still wet and thin. When you'll see me on the other one, I'll start gouging after 10 layers or so, and the stuff will be halfway dry. I brought some sandpaper down, but that's not going to work on the wet paint. When you use sandpaper on paint, it has to be dry. Alright, so see, I'm still getting a lot of movement in the paint. It's been what? I'm looking at there, it's been 22 minutes. So this was well and truly soaked. Well and truly soaked. Alright, so we've got that. I'll do another one here. Just for fun. Put that up here. All the way over the top. So we want to have stuff in the foreground and in the background. To you. I was having a look at this camera if I can get it in focus. Oh well, that's not looking half bad, huh? Alright, cool. Alright, so this one here, just gonna do a little more of this nonsense here, just so I don't lose track of where I'm at. Alright, so I'm gonna get now. I'm going to get stuck in on the one with the backing. We'll put that one through its paces as well. Let me just finish this here real quick. Alright. Okay. Now, the nice thing about these also, I've never ever painted with synthetic canvas before. I've been doing it for like 2 years now. I normally use the older, more traditional canvases, and you'd spend a lot of time in preparation and planning. And this I like is because I can just step up and just allow the painting to appear in front of me. And we're going to come in and do something else there. Alright, so let's let this one dry. If you look at the back of this thing, it's a solid superwood. It's never going to warp. This is as strong as a frame. This is as strong as a frame you will find anywhere. It's a great frame. Look, for the artist, the strength of frame is actually it's not high on my priority list at all. However, when it comes to customer satisfaction and presentation of your artwork, it looks good. It looks good. It adds this professionalism to it, and you've actually got something. There's nothing worse than when I sell a painting. Well, it hasn't happened since I started using these, but I get a call back, the frame's warped. And now I've got to drive out there. I've got to put the cinches in, because most people who buy the art, well, they're not artists themselves. They're just admirers of art. So yeah, go with something that you actually don't have to mess around with on the back end. Everybody is not paying what they used to for art, so we're running pretty tight to the breadbone. So you don't want these trips back to places where you've hung your work to sort the frames out. So bear that in mind. It's an added expense on the back end. Price wise on these, it's normal. It's like anybody else's, but just the quality and the professionalism in the presentation is definitely something to consider when purchasing this. All right.